Okay, welcome everybody. Noyantis Usergroup Meeting. Today is Monday the 5th of June 2017. Myself and John are your hosts today. I know we've got a couple of questions because I've already had a couple on email, so that's good. But I thought we would quickly recap on the end of Friday's webinar with Jonathan's Scripted, because one of the questions was related to that I know I've got coming up, but I missed the end. I was only there for the first hour or so, and then I had to unfortunately I had to leave. How did it go? How did it finish up?
It finished up just great.
Yep.
just went through it. Yeah, we were a little bit at about an hour and a half presentation, I think, this time. A little bit more, but I thought it went okay.
Good.
I guess.
Well, the new UI looked really good. Very impressed with it. I like the old one as well, but you are correct. It's not as cluttered, and it's cleaner and more inviting, if you will. So yeah, no, very good.
Yes, I agree.
Cool. And I take it you've probably got a couple of questions from that, because we saw a couple of funnies come up during it. So undoubtedly we will have something to look at today with that, which is all good.
Sure.
But it was regarding that, and it was David who's, I'll open up his mic. I think he has some questions on docking panes and your usage when you were saying about passing notifications around and so on and so forth. So we open David's mic up, because it leads us straight in, basically, the script it. You were the one who caused the questions, John. So David's also thinking of going for the products, and obviously has some questions on the usage, and so let me put him open. Hi, David.
Hiya, John. Hiya, Andy.
Hi, put you straight on the spot.
Okay, great, thanks. Well, I enjoyed the webinar on Friday, John. It was very informative, and loved your UI. It actually was very, very close to something that I'm planning on making for myself. Nothing to do with SQL or anything at all like that, but the actual layout of your interface was very, very similar to what I sort of planned for my particular project. And I was quite interested in a couple of things, in particular, when you commented about needing to use notifications to keep notifying the individual panels of the docking panes what to display, and how you did it with XML. I would think I would prefer to use JSON and J files to do that, because I'm using that in other aspects, like I showed the other week in that JavaScript little demonstration I did on the open webinar. So it was mainly that, and what was the other thing that I was interested in? Just one second. It was mainly that. Oh yes, I remember now what the other thing was. It was you also mentioned that each of the docking panes was in a separate procedure, and yes. I was wondering about the reasons for that.
Okay. Because sometimes you have to, I guess.
Well, I mean, I can open
the way that. Yeah, you can bring up your example.
I'll bring up the example of why I can also open one of my apps up to show where you would pass not necessarily notifications around and so on, but it's their usage regarding putting different procedures in different panes, if you will.
I'll tell you that the main reason is because you can only put a handle of one control in a docking pane. Yep. So if you want to have a procedure that's got like a command bar in it and then a browse in it or something like that, and you want to dock that whole thing, then it has to be a procedure, because the procedure has the handle that goes to the pane.
Okay.
If that makes sense. But Andy will show you.
Actually, you know what we could use as a better one? If I have a quick look here, I can find them anywhere. We could use the training exercise. I don't know if you remember from the last CIDC. John, and we did the Formula One app? If not, I'll bring it up here. I'm just going to try and find it. Where was it? Workshops. There you go. Formula One. We'll jump straight to the end. So let's just close it. Well, that's just copying across. I'm just preparing a folder for usage here. Okay. So as John just said, when you've got docking panes, the golden rule is you can have any number of panes. Well, memory limitations, so on and so forth, but any number of panes, but each pane can only ever have one piece of content because you marry the content via its handle. So for example here, now that handle can be any type of control as long as you can get to the handle of it, and it plays nicely with docking panes, which majority do, to be honest. Then you can put it as part of the pane's content. So here in this screen design, we actually just have a little clarion list, a button, a close button, and a drop. And we've just defined 4 panes and put them in. So basically, when you pick this pane up, you're actually moving the list around, and so on and so forth. And those particular controls, all part of that window definition, still get all their events. They just, instead of belonging to the clarion window now, they basically, imagine you are doing an API call to change the parentage. Instead of belonging to the clarion window, they now belong to the related pane. And that's really it. So following that logic forward, one pane, one handle, one piece of content, if you wanted to have your application MDI, but in functionality, but SDI in its look and feel, you can do that. But what you do is you basically have a number of panes, all defined, and their content, their child procedures could go off and start on other threads. But when they started, basically the class notifies the main docking pane to say, I'm open now. Now you can grab my handle and take charge of me. So this is a very rough remedy. We'll show you a much better one in a minute. But this procedure opened the clarion window. It has 2 panes on there. I think there's actually a closed pane and so on, but there's 2 child procedure panes, and each one of them open a clarion window on a separate thread. They notify back automatically, and when they are open, they grab the handle, and the content becomes the pane. So if we look at this here, there's a browse procedure. So let's say hypothetically the docking pane procedure container is thread 3. That would be on thread 4. That would be on thread 5. So this is an actual separate clarion window what's running, and it's in a pane. This is another clarion window with buttons and so on and so forth, and that's a normal clarion window, but that's running inside of that pane as well. So it should respond to its resize like a clarion window would do, and so on and so forth. But it's now hosted, instead of a clarion window, it's hosted in a docking pane.
Is there any sort of limitation, Andy, on what you can actually put on that window?
In the clarion window? No, it's a...
Yeah.
No.
So it's literally anything you put a clarion window becomes a docking pane?
Yep, because basically, let's have a look at that. I'll show you in a better example in a minute, but just to jump on that clarion child windows. So we can see, I think we had a little drop down, I think, at the bottom. That's kind of irrelevant. We had 4 panes. Let's just see it running again. There's our drop down, and there's a drop down here. You can just see the close button. There's a close button, and then we defined an extra 2 panes to say we want them to be clarion child window contents. So let's just go to our docking pane, and we've got 4 panes. We've got a close pane. Its content, it should, if we go across, its content is a clarion window control. So that means it's part of the same window as the docking pane is, and it's just a close button. We've then got an image pane. There's its usual dimensions and so on and so forth. But the main thing we're interested in this time is content is now a Clarion procedure with a window. Of course, it's got to have a window because it's got to have a handle. So Clarion procedure, it asks you for the name of the procedure and what the usual things for a start command, any parameters, and the stack. So we've got that as the image pane. We have a browse pane, very similar. Clarion procedure, and that will start that for us. And we also had a drop down, if you remember, part of the window. So that, going back, Clarion window, control, sorry. The other options you've got on there, just to confuse you, can be a Clarion window control, Clarion procedure, can be an external application, as long as you can tell me the handle to it, it can be. It could be, well, no control specified, you're going to do it yourself, so you can define the pane, give it basically a placeholder and so on and so forth, but then you're going to find the handle via whatever mechanism you want to and go and set it yourself, which you can do. It could be a CodeJock wrapper, CodeJock control itself. It could be an n-bit control, because we do wrappers for n-bit controls, or it could be other, and if we say other, it just wants the handle again there.
Okay.
Now I did promise, let's look at one which is in much more detail. I would jump right to the end of the Formula One app, which we did for last year.
Can I just sort of recap on what I think I understood from that?
Of course,
really,
yes.
What you're saying is that you're actually really creating an MDI application with lots of MDI child windows, which are effectively mapped to docking panes. If I think of it like that,
Yep.
The one you just showed me really was an MDI frame with 4 individual MDI child window procedures, and they're just really mapped to docking panes, and so we'll just sit on that window. Yeah.
2 procedures, 2 just normal controls on that window.
Normal control. Okay, yes, I understand what you said there. Yeah.
This.
Yes. That makes me understand a little bit better. I think I understand the concept better now. Yes.
Well, I mean, for there's people on the webinar here, and obvious people watching it who didn't attend the CIDC. When was it? 2015. And for those who didn't, I really do recommend it. I love the event. It's absolutely brilliant. Anyway, enough plugging that. There's plenty of people who've not seen this one. This was a part of a training app. Now, we covered this in... I'll just have a quick look, because I think we did it in 27 steps. And it was to take you from basically beginner straight through to what you can achieve. So this is the end version. So we'll just run the app. And we can see here we've given it some kind of navigation down the left. We've given a system menu on the top. And then we've got some data going on here. Now, if I just explain what you're visually looking at here, and if we just to recap on that and open it up, we'll go into the procedures to actually show you what's going on. How does that sound?
Yes, that's fine, Andy.
Yep. So we have an application frame, which is the standard Clarion MDI application frame.
Yes.
Across the top, we happen to have. Now I cheat. I give it a window, because you can't. Clarion won't let you add controls to the main application frame. So I cheat. Well, I don't cheat. For the command bars and the task panel, the shortcut bar, the calendar, any of the controls which can be added to the application frame actually get added via a docked window. Nothing to do with docking pane, just a Clarion window which is docked to whichever position it needs to be docked in. So I actually create a window here myself and have it maximized. So the application frame really is doing nothing but starting a Clarion window, and I use it as a nice placeholder so that I can add more controls to it.
Okay, I understand that.
Just, I mean, I need to automate the process if anything going forward, but it's not that hard to do, and the examples are available. So we've got a Clarion window. This is literally all of it. On it, we have a command bar. So you're looking at the command bar here, but all I really want for this training exercise is to have the system button. I didn't really need the command bar for anything else, but I was just demonstrating a system button.
Okay, yes.
I then have 2 panes to start with defined. One is the navigation on the left.
Yes.
And one is what we're going to call the work area on the right.
Yes, I understand that.
Now we can resize the panes accordingly as you would want, and so on. We'll take a quick look at that before we explain what we're doing with the starting of the child threads. So just to take a look at that, let's come in. Oh, there. Right. So there's our app frame, and that's the window which I mentioned. So if we look at our host window, it really doesn't have much to it. It's told to open maximize. I have on it a task panel, which we can see here.
Yes.
I have on it the docking pane, which of course is the whole thing, taking charge of the window. And I have the command bar, which we've just seen because we've seen the system button.
Right, yes.
Okay, so far so good. If we look at our panes, we've got a pane called navigation, and that is told to open to the left. And we have a pane called work, which is told to open to the right.
Okay, yes, I understand those.
So far so good. That's that. Now, what we don't want to do is, imagine this is a bigger application and you've got, I don't know, normally we've all got, in the tens, if not hundreds of procedures. Maybe not all hundreds of browsers, but then again, you might do. The last thing you'd want to do is go and open up all the top level child browse windows when you first open the application, because one, it'd be, and two, you might not want to, you might have 100 browsers and you're going to go into 2 of them. So the 98 is wasting people's time and taking resources up. So the system supports a thing called lazy open. And what we've got here, actually I've jumped forward a bit, but we'll cover that in a second. When you click on venues, I need to rewind, sorry, we'll go with venues. We've also got a pane for each of the other options. So we've got venues, drivers, teams, races, and so on. And there's all the different panes. You don't have to go with this interface. This is purely a demonstration training exercise. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is on this definition there, on this, if I go to the navigation pane, we've got this, and we use this approach in a lot of our products. You've got this idea of a collection. Now, the navigation is not part of any collection. It's just a straightforward pane. Whereas the work, I'm using as nothing more than a placeholder. So we can see its collection is work, and one of the options you've got is auto hide other panes in the collection when selected. So basically, what we're going to do, and you can see where I'm going with this, is as you click on the different options, you're going to start the piece of content or select if it's already been started. You're going to basically start that pane, and if it's part of a collection, it's then going to hide the rest of the collection, giving you the effect of venues, then drivers, teams. So you do see a slight delay the first time they're opening because the procedure is physically opening. After that, going back to them is instant because all you're doing is switching the handle. Well, sorry, not switching the handle, sorry, bringing the other pane into focus. So I could highlight the Red Bull ring, go to the drivers. We'll have Alonso because he's a McLaren driver now, so of course I'm going to select him. Go back to venues, and of course it's straight back where it was, as you would expect. So those are child threads running in a pane. They've been started via the template, but they've been told to start lazy open. So if we look at the settings of those panes, So work doesn't start anything. So if we have a look at the content, it's just a placeholder. That gives you the effect, if I just close this and reopen it, gives you the effect, it's a placeholder, no content. What I sometimes do there, I'll be honest, but again, it's just ideas and so on, is I'll have basically a logo for an application. So you could just give it a watermark.
Yeah, a splash screen or advertisement, anything.
Exactly. And remember, that could be a Clarion window. Why not make it a Clarion window? You can have hyperlinks on there, so on and so forth. So we'll go back to our other papers.
That concept fits in very, very well with one particular application I want to create.
Okay, that's good. So going back to the venue, we know that work is part of a work collection. We'll now look at, I hate it when it does that, venues. That's also part of the work. It's told to hide the rest of the collection, and it's also told to don't open the content until selected, which is this lazy open. So when we go through, and it's a child procedure, browse venues. And it's repeat and rinse. We do the same with all the others. Also I jumped work, that, and so on. The only thing I think I do on that is I tell it it's hidden by default. And the same with that one, it's hidden by default, because until someone selects anything, they are hidden. So what's the point of showing them to then make them hidden straight away? You're going to see flicker. So when you define it, you can say whether you want the pane to be shown or visible or hidden, and open or closed, floating or docked, and you can even say whether the what the content is. So you can say, enabled wise, you can say it's disabled. You can disable the pane but leave the content enabled. You can disable the content but leave the pane enabled, or you can basically have both enabled. So the flexibility is really powerful. So you can disable a whole Clarion window but still see it, and so on and so forth. Yeah, the panes do give you an extra layer of control over your Clarion screens. So as you can see there, that is the different browse procedures running. And then what we've done on the browse procedure is take it one extra step. So we've got our host window, which has got our docking host control. On top of that, in our Clarion browse, in the browse procedure window, I've then basically given that a makeover of its own. So I've given that a command bar across the top for you to control the actions of what you can do. It's got a report control with some grouping, as you can see. But it's also, all of those things are hosted inside of docking pane within that window. Nothing to do with the docking pane outside of it. This window's got its own master docking pane as well. In fact, each of the windows have their own master docking pane. So, and this window, so if we focus just on venues, we can see that we know we've got a command bar, we've got a report control, and we happen to have a field picker for the report control, which can fold in and fold back, and we also have some notes. So if we put some notes on a particular circuit, Yas Marina, I'll put some notes. One day I'll attend. So basically, that is standard Clarion's notes field, and as I'm going up and down, so let's just actually pin the notes so we can see them.
Yeah.
As we're going up and down, it's a standard Clarion notes, just like you would do on a browse. But the only thing is, the user has the ability to fold them back when not needed. So only bring them into focus when required. Better use is this here. If you had the field picker permanently stuck out there, it's great for functionality, but it will take up a lot of space when it's not used, and 90%, 95% is not going to be used. So it gives a lot of power to allow them to manipulate the browse and then put itself back. So if we quickly show that one procedure, and of course all the procedures are the same. Standard Clarion browse window, standard Clarion window. it's added a command bar, which you saw across the top, docking pane, which takes charge of the content, and a field picker for the report control. And then what we've done is, so at that moment in time, and you see it during the training that we cover, this does look like at one point it is actually a standard Clarion window. So you can say, okay, I have my buttons and so on and so forth, and then we turn it into the docked content.
Okay, yes.
There's two docking panes on here. One is an extension template of the overall master, which is this one, and that's saying, yes, this window can be used as pane content, and we'll quickly cover that. It's turned into quite a training session for docking panes. If anyone, for purposes of the recording, hopefully you'll get something out of this. We'll come back to that, but basically you can stop by default. This extension gets added to all windowed procedures, and its default state is you can't be used as docking content. So then you go through and say, I'm going to call that procedure, and yes, untick it to make it available to me.
Okay.
So we've got a docking pane on the window itself. Nothing to do with the other one now. This is just this window's scope. We've got 3 panes, browse, which went to the top, if I remember rightly. Well, we went to the left of fields. We had the field picker, which went to the right of the browse. Makes sense. And we have the notes, which then went to the bottom.
Okay, yes. Understand all that.
And all of them are standard Clarion controls. So you can see that's a Clarion control. That one isn't. That one is a code jock control because it's a field picker that we've placed on the screen.
Okay, yes.
It's still a control, it's an OLE control, but it saves you having to put extra code into, say, prop, handle, and so on and so forth. By saying it's that and it's that control, the template will write the code and find the handle for you and so on and so forth. So it saves you. I think in all of this, there was some embed code, mainly to do with save and restore of the actual positions and layouts. None of the actual docking and so on and so forth. We wrote most of this without writing any code.
Okay, yeah.
And that was really it. That was really it. What we could do is, I don't know if it's on this, and I don't want to break the example actually. I already had it running. When that opens, we could, if we wanted, have got that to take over the place of its parent. Now, the way that works, might end up screwing this up, but let's have a go. There's the update form. There's the docking management from the very highest level. And, of course, its default state is stop from being used. So I'm going to say it can be used. You can say what the parent thread is. We don't need that here. And I'm not going to change... We'll append to the title, but only if its minimum level is 1, because you can say if you're a level 1 window or 2 window and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And I want you to hide the window until it's become part of the pane. So basically you don't want to see a Clarion window flicker open and then all of a sudden be docked. You'll just see flicker. So by default it will hide itself until it's attached to a pane. Take off the title bar because of course you'd naturally do that. You don't want a title bar because then if you've got it, they can move it around within the pane. So you do want to hide the title bar and disable the pressing escape, because once the docking pane's got it, you don't really want them pressing escape and closing the content off. It's outside of the template scope.
Okay.
So we're not going to call that directly from the overall docking pane. What instead it's going to do is it's going to see that the browse venues is opened on, and let's say hypothetically this is thread 4. Then when this opens, it knows that it's on thread 4 and its parent is docked. So if its parent is docked on thread 4 and this is becoming docked, then the parent, it might as well take the place of its parent because you can't get back to it. just in a normal, you think of the school app or the invoice app of Clarion, you have a browse and an update form. You can see the browse, but you can't do anything with it because the layer is on top of it. The update form is on top. So you've got the ability here to actually layer your content. And when that's finished, and it's not letting me off. What have I done? I broke it. For some reason, it's not letting me do anything, and I don't know why. But you get the idea.
Yes, no, I understand the concept very well.
It's not
it actually produces a very, very clean interface.
Well, if that worked, it would be to let me just kill that off, and we'll just restart the app. Well, the idea is that, especially if you've got your layers and so on, but they can be a little troublesome. I'd use them. I wouldn't go too deep with them. We played about. I added them for, I think it was a project Mike Anthony was working on, actually, at one of his contracts. So it was him who came up with the concept of the layering, so I've got to give credit to him for that. But basically, you have got the power of this, an MDI application, but presented, and that's what I mean by this, the SDI, but you've not lost any of the power of it.
Yes, no, quite honestly, I prefer this interface to the standard Clarion interface.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I do. Hence why I knocked it together as the example. So that's how it came about, and that's some of the options that you can do with it.
Okay. Yep. No. Excellent.
So, just one thing, your original question was to say about notifications, and if I was to say click on Teams now, it's going to start a thread. It's going to keep the window hidden until such time that it's basically docked. Okay, so what that's going to do is it's going to start the thread. That will notify, so it'll start the browse, and it could be on, let's say, thread 6 or 7 here. That will then notify the main container when it's opened to say, I'm available and my handle is this. That will then grab the handle, present it in its docking pane, so you can see the pane on the screen, and I think that will actually automatically hide. It might notify the child window afterwards to unhide, to say, right, now you're docked, so now you can go and hide. So if I do that, all you really see is a start, but that's what's gone on there. The browse class, the docking pane class itself, we have to open it up. Oh, that's opened over there. If I was to do notify, in fact, it's going to be better going via that one. You can see you've got send event to child window, send notify to child window. And all you do is give it what procedure and the event you want to go and pass it. And if it's notify, it would be what procedure with what code. And the prompt because it's notify.
Yeah.
So, and that's really it. Now, so you can do event notifications to your child windows and notify notifications to your child windows via the class itself. So you don't have to worry about keeping track of stuff. It has got the ability inside to do it for you.
Okay, got you.
There's actually, from a technical point of view, there's actually 3 classes. There is a docking pane class, which you see. There is a docking pane window extension, which is when we went to our other browse, let's say the update, and we saw this appear. That's the extension class. And then you also have an overall global class, which is a window manager class, which keeps track of what's going on with the windows. So we can see at any one time basically what's going on. So if we need to know what procedure something's done and we get the handle of a procedure, there it is. And if we need the thread number of a procedure, there it is, and so on and so forth.
Yes, very powerful.
Do some work.
Mm.
So, yeah, that was a busy Saturday night. Anyway, so that gives you a taste of the docking panes. Any questions? And I'll quickly have a look if anyone else has got any questions. Anybody else any questions on anything, or docking panes in particular, which we're just covering now?
Well, you covered what I was interested in very, very clearly, and that was very, very helpful to me, Andy. Very helpful indeed.
Cool. Very good. And hopefully it gives other users, the chance to recap on this and so on and so forth. And there are, like I say, example apps. One other thing I forgot is obviously the webinars are posted up on Clarion Live, but also, where are we? Just if we go to YouTube and do a search for Noyantis, then I'm going to start hosting them on there. So if you just do a search for Noyantis, and there's the user group meetings. So this one will be posted up there after the webinar. And John, I'm going to change the links on the wiki to point to there, because currently they're just on my server, and we might as well use YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Free storage.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So for recapping and so on, obviously, if anyone's watching this on Watch Again, and they've obviously already got the link, but I'm just trying to make more and more of the info, and more training videos will be going up here as well to cover certain pinpointed aspects like defining docking panes, adding the command bars, those type of things. So
Yes.
but I just need to know what I'm going to use for that. I'll probably go with Camtasia, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, anybody, any other questions? Oh, Roberto, he's got his hand up and got his mic open. Hi, Roberto. I think your microphone should be open by default.
Well, it doesn't, because I get here late probably, or something like that. I thought YouTube had the time limit on the...
It gives you a 15-minute time limit until you authenticate your account.
And does that, what's the process of that?
Really simple. It took seconds. Actually logged in as my dev account, but basically, let me just log out of dev and log into my other one.
And then it lets you put them as long as you want?
Yeah, it was really simple.
Oh, I thought there were like a 15-minute limit or something like that.
No. Okay, so where do I go for my thing? My channel, there we go. And I think somewhere you have a dashboard, if I remember rightly. Video manager.
Mm-hmm. So you've got all the videos there for the Noyantis.
Yep, yeah, they're all available already.
All of them?
From January, since January onwards.
Okay, from this year then.
Yeah, since we've been doing the weekly ones. So I still need
okay.
I'll get the other ones, I'll download them, convert them and put them up. Okay. But I think it was under, I'm trying to think where it was under the dashboard. Channel. Yeah, it's under here. Status and features. And under there you've got their longer videos. And it's really simple. You have enabled that, and all you've got to do is you tell them you want to do it. It creates you a video, which you put in the root of your video. Creates you a file.
Oh man, that's a limitation.
Put it in the.
You can only upload a 128 gigabyte video. Oh, I'm so sad.
But yeah, it will give you a little text file. You put it in the root of your website and tell it to go and validate. And the minute it knows that you are who you are, who you say you are, then you are you're authenticated.
For some reason, I thought maybe it's changed, but I thought before you had to like be popular before they let you do longer videos and things like that.
No, I mean, there's a thing about trying to get money and so on and so forth, but you got to get like 10,000 views. Well, if we get 10,000 Noyantis customers, cool. I'll retire. You won't get any more videos.
There you go.
We're about 10% there now, though. Not a million miles off.
Right.
So, but yes, so that was a quick one for YouTube. But yes, so they're on YouTube, and there will be more videos going on there for purposely for all the past ones that we can get and going forward. But there'll be a training as well. So that's why I chose that particular icon to show that it's a user group, and then the training one will be like an educational icon, just to make them easier for people to recognise.
Are the training ones ever going to be available?
Yes.
Like the ones that John does, from the DevCons, or are they just going to be on sale forever?
Oh, that's a John question. To be fair, that's they belong to they belong to CIDC.
I don't know.
I think
I have no answer.
I think while they're still recouping costs, then I would say still for sale.
Yeah, like the 2010 DevCon videos, or the do you guys still make money out of those, or?
No, we'll have to talk about it and figure out what we want to do with them.
It's like some of them were really good stuff. It'd be good to.
It's true.
If you're not making any money out of them, might as well share them or whatever. But that's
don't do the 2011. Don't do the 2011 training session, because I'll still offer to do that this year on the OTX.
There you go. Yeah, I'll talk to Arnold about it. We'll figure out something.
All right.
Just one quick question on that, John. The old videos, obviously they're on Wiki, and I'll download any of my old ones and put them on accordingly, and any of the Friday ones and so on. I'll put on. But someone was saying, remember I did a 4-parter where we took an application, took it from step to step, and changed. I think it was the invoice app, something like that. But we took it from one step and one stage and took it to the Noyantis type stage, if you will. And they were saying part 4 was corrupt. There was only 28 meg available. So the poor person's watched 7.5 hours and then can't get the ending. You've got no master copy.
I'm sure we have a copy of it somewhere. Yeah, there's got to be a copy of it there.
I mean, it's my own fault. I should have recorded as well, but at the time I didn't. So it's I'm as much to blame, if not more. But
well, back then we had multiple recordings. So Arnold did one, I did one. Lisa might have even done one. And then people downloaded it. It might have got moved, and when it got moved, that's probably when it got clipped or something. So I'll check on it.
Okay. Cheers. Okay. So we have a question from David. Let's see David. Hang on, I've lost my mouse. Just 1 second. David, open the mic up. Hi, David.
Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Yes, good. Yourself?
Pretty good.
Cool.
I have kind of a general question here, because I keep meaning to update all the controls and then, over the weekend, and then ask you questions on Monday, but I never get a chance. I'm going from version 16.4 to the latest, version
17.3.
Yeah. Do I need to? Is there anything in particular, like if I do an upgrade on that, is there anything in particular that I need to do, or licensing changes, or?
No. Well, I was going to say, obviously, on the global extension, select the version, and I would always encourage people to use the pre-specified version rather than the predefined rather than the specify, and that's twofold. One is it automatically fills in the correct entries for you here, so there's less chance of getting anything wrong, and I presume you do that. Do you?
I think I have it specified, but
okay, because that leads you on to a second one, which somebody fell foul of this very week. If you go for specify, and
no, that's right. Mine is not. Mine is the other guy. So mine actually says the version.
Right. I was going to say, because you can get these wrong. Now, all the predefined do them for you, and that's great. You just have to put your own validation code in. I take it you do compile your licensing, because there is a difference between 16.4 and 17 if you don't. Under 16.4, like I still use 16.3.1 or 16.4, or 16.4 really, while I'm deving. The reason for that is I don't have to include my license information. The .lic file can just reside in the same location as the OCX file, which is usually your CodeJock install folder, and it's fine. When the OCX initializes, it will see that the LIC is present, see the content of it, and run accordingly. From 17 onwards, they stop that. So you do have to compile your licensing all the time. And of course, in case I'm doing any demonstration or someone's asked me how to do something and I put a quick application together to send it to them, I don't want to go revealing my license code for obvious reasons.
Right.
So, but if you compile your license code in, then you're fine. And obviously, for any applications you're sending out the door, I would expect the license code to be compiled in. So
okay.
Make
sure it's that way on the dev too, then.
Yeah. So the best thing would be use a predefined version, like so, and from a license point of view, do compile it in. Just enter your validation code again out of the LIC file.
Okay.
So, but the second one is if you. The other thing was, do you use reg3com?
Yes.
Yeah. You see, on all these, if I open that folder up, now where are we? So let's just bring this folder into display, and all the manifest files are being created for you somewhere via our template, so we can see the docking pane somewhere. There it is, and we can open up that the manifest of that, and the template's calculated which version you're running. So you specified, so the template has calculated the correct IDs for you. If you use specify version, you won't get any content. You might get a manifest file, but it'll be empty, and that's because you've kind of taken charge yourself. You said, I'm not using yours, I'll use it myself. Well,
right,
okay. You've taken charge part of it. You need to take charge wholly of it. Nobody.
So that's saying within your code, you're actually specifying the version. Is that the?
Yeah, but well, basically, where are we? We can do specify. You can then specify the version number. Let's say they had brought out 17.4. Yeah. So I think you could actually put exclamation, and you might be able to put a variable. Don't quote me on that. But the intention was, I'm away on vacation, and CodeJock released 17.4, and you desperately want to take a quick look at it, but of course you can't because you're waiting for me to get back and release an update. Well, and also not necessarily that, you might not want to keep your subscription valid. I hope you do, of course, but you know, I never tie a person in because that's just not the way to do business. So you could do specify and go with newer versions of the controls as and when they come out. So I could type in 17.
Oh, I see. Yeah, if you just wanted to do CodeJock alone, I got you.
Yeah, and so on. So, you know, I hope people do, but
probably not a good idea.
Never made that assumption. So allow them to do that. But the only thing is, all of that approach came around before we had reg3com. You've still got that, but you would have to write the content of the manifest file yourself if you was using reg3com and not keeping up to date and using specify.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah. So that's the only thing. But no, in simple question. Oh yeah.
I was thinking on that same thing there on your registration of your application.
Yeah.
When you on the license, when you add your licensing code, you embed it into the executable, and it's actually quite open in there. You can just grab a hex editor and find it.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you, like you did there with the version, if we could add like a file somewhere that we could just go look for it on the file, and we could encrypt the file if we wanted to, and that way it wouldn't be so open.
Worth a go.
Because I know there's been a couple people that have been kind of worried about it. I'm not really worried about it. I mean, that's just a serial number. I mean, but some people are,
You could always put it in a TPS or something, encrypt it, I guess.
Something,
So you'd have to go on here.
If you wanted to.
Maybe another option in here, and let you
file or whatever, and you can.
Well, either just get it out of a variable. Yeah, just get a variable. You prime the variable up via whichever mechanism you like. Your own encryption, TPS, SQL, INI. INI would be a bit. I'll be honest with you, but yes, as long as you prime the variable up, I don't see any problem in that. And then, and
in that case, it's not hard coded, you see, and so you could actually go in there and change the information and change versions without your having to recompile your app. If you hard coded it in it.
But you kind of have to here anyway, right? You have to specify the version and do the other stuff anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about the reg-free com thing we just mentioned about generating a manifest? You'd have.
And reg-free com it would be, that'd be a little harder.
Yeah.
Unless you deploy all of the, all the manifest.
Do you have any idea? Just where are we? Just to give you a little taster, and this gets added to all the time. Where are we? NYS lib-r3. Okay. So obviously there's the different case statements, the versions, and then there we go. And you can see the scroll bar. That thing's not small. That thing's not big. Yeah. So feel free. Run up to version 15 there. But yeah, you feel free to release
we'll let you take care of that. We'll let you leave that in your hands.
To be fair, that's Dave Bratovich wrote an application which grabs all these, and he made my life infinitely easier overnight. So massive.
Oh, thanks. We'll leave it in Dave's hands.
Every time you say reg-free, it's synonymous to Dave Bratovich.
Yep. Well, that's fine. Thanks, Dave.
He pushed all that stuff like you wouldn't believe.
It's really helpful because that was a big pain. We had a lot of customers where the people were trying to register them on the desktops, and it
became thing. Well, in fairness, Soft Velocity do get bad press on the news groups, quite a lot, and because we all like to, it's easier to moan when we're not happy than it is to give credit when we are. But I've got to give fair play there to Bob Z. It was not the last DEF CON, it was the one before, because it was Clarion 9 at the time, 9.1. 9.0, and he went around each of the third parties and said basically like a magic wish. If you wanted one thing, what would it be? And for me, I said reg-free com. I promised I'd pass him a VB example. I passed it in within a week of getting back, and true to form, he did come up and add it. So, you can also give credit to Soft Velocity there, because they listened and made my life and a hell of a lot of other people's lives a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely really helpful. That
was the biggest feature in 9.1. To me, anyway.
It was for me as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say that's a biggie. Yeah, because it was getting a little out of control. The more we use, the harder. Yeah. Was to get them all registered, and mainly IT people from different companies. Were calling us saying we can't get your program installed.
I know, and it's hard enough to get a sale in the first place. The last thing you need is to get over from a security obstacle. So if Bob Z ever watches these, I've just given him credit, which is good. And then this year, I'm going to hit him with, can you please turn off the owner drawn on the control so we can have our skin framework working properly again? Just in case he watches.
What was that last one?
The skin framework from Clarion 6, slowly but surely. He has added the owner drawn property to. It started out with just sheet controls back in Clarion 6, and now buttons, progress bars, all of them have basically a property called owner drawn, which stops any any other product taking charge of the product, taking charge of that particular entity and repainting it. Now, it helps him take charge of his Flickr problems, and he has done, and that's great. But he's slow but surely killing Skin Framework capability because
you got Regshift.com, they take away something. Well,
he promised to put it on a toggle switch, which to be fair, it's just like I said a minute ago. If people don't want this and they want to take charge of themselves, well, they put it on a toggle switch and say, okay, well, you might experience a little flicker, but it's under your control. That's fine. We're all adults. We can, that's our decision. That's the approach. That's the approach I'll be taking with him. So fingers crossed. I'll tell you in October.
Okay. Okay. Well, this looks pretty straightforward, so I'll go ahead and get that switched over then.
Cool. Okay.
And that's in every app, right? Is that
it
it's not just in your base guy?
I know John is definitely going to push for if it's. I take it use a multi DLL app.
Yeah. About 50 DLLs, I guess.
So yeah, John's just about to jump in and shout at us because that's one of the changes he proposed quite a while ago, and it is one of these Mondays when we're a little quieter. I think we'll make a start on because. In fact, if we've got no other questions, we can start talking about it now. If anyone's got any other questions and so on.
Well, my question there would be: is there any way to know that I missed one? So, like, if I, let's say I go through the, 50, but I forgot 4 or something, is it going to tell me? Am I going to get something?
Okay. What's your easiest way there? What's your easiest way there? I'm just trying to think. Crikey.
I guess if the OCX is missing,
there's no easy way.
If I get rid of the old OCX
to solve the problem.
Yeah, there is. Well, there is no easy way. No, I'm trying to think because the exe is responsible for creating the manifest files. So actually, that's not quite true. No, each DLL would potentially. No, the exe. Yeah, there is no easy way. Because you would have all the manifest files created. I suppose have a look at what manifests are created afterwards and have a look if any of them have got an incorrect version. So if you're currently running 16.3.1 and you're going up to 16.4 you say, weren't it? And you go into 17.3 afterwards, just do a quick text search on the manifest files to have a look if anyone's still got 16 point in there after you've done the full generation.
Do the manifests only get created for procedures that use?
It's for any of the apps that use them. So it'll be taken at the global level. So after you've done a compile of your whole project. But it's still a bit, I've got to admit, it's still a bit of I won't say hit and miss, but we can make it so much easier. So and we definitely should do. John's already preaching to the converted. It's just a matter of getting going on it really.
Because I'm looking at like my manifest files, and they look like they're there's a manifest for each of the controls.
Controls, yes.
So I have the calendar control and all that kind of stuff, but I don't see. Oh, I see. I guess I got to sort by extension, not by.
But thinking about it, you are right because it's not going to tell you which app. So if you're using, actually, that still wouldn't work for you. If you've got the calendar in 2 apps, and unless it's only the exe, it might only be the exe what creates it. I can't actually remember, but
it looks like on this guy, I've got 50 DLLs, but only certain DLLs use the controls.
Yep.
And it looks like it only generates the manifest for those DLLs that use the controls.
Which would make sense because the global extension would be only on those ones.
So that's helpful. I mean, already, because that tells me, I don't have to go. I only have to go through the list that actually have them. I don't have to check every single. I don't have to check every single app to make sure they're not defined in there.
Yeah.
That it's only these ones that have manifests, and then I guess just check the manifests at the end.
Yeah, but again, it wouldn't. If you've got, let's say, command bars, like I have command bars in maybe browse DLLs and update DLLs. The browser's off in one, the update form's in another. Well, I'd have command bars in both, and if I had left one at 16 and one at 17, it would really depend on the compile order. So if I compiled the 17 last, it would look like it's correct, but then let's say browse was using 16.4 update was using 17, an update was compiled second, then it would look correct, but the browser was still using the wrong version. So in effect, it's still, no, it's not that good.
Yeah, okay.
One way it's not the best. You could do compile the whole solution. You'd have all your CLWs, and then use something like Agent Ransack. I don't know if anyone uses that. It's a really good utility.
Agent Ransack?
Yeah, like here you can see I've got Agent Ransack. So you install it, right click, and basically it's where is it? It's over on the other window. But it's a really powerful text search, so I could have a look in there. I could tell it to look in the CLWs. Oh, and there's various different things you can give it patterns for what files you want to include and exclude. And then I could have a look for codejock dot. I'm not sure we should find it somewhere. No. What am I looking for? Let's look for in the CLWs. List. Let's look at what something we should be looking for. Yeah, or maybe command bars. So there we can see, then include there and some stuff. So I'd look for the maybe your license number or the version number. So 16.3. So we can see there that's using the 16.3.1 version. So that's good.
I see. Okay. Yep.
So yeah, I use Agent Ransack. It's really powerful and very fast.
Yeah, it's helpful to have a good search tool.
Yeah, just look for the CLW files. If you do a search for the 16.3.1, or in your case it was 16.4, and then they're the internal variables, so I know that number 2 is command bar, 5 is task panel, 6 is, I forgot, docking panes, report control, and calendar. But that's kind of irrelevant. The fact that you found any, say 16.3.1, would tell you that you've still got some incorrect. But at least it'd tell you what they are. So that could help.
Yeah. Yeah, help find them there. Okay, cool.
Okay. Any other questions?
But by the time I do that, this automatic one's probably going to be in place already anyway, right? So.
Of course, yes, of course.
Yeah.
John seriously sat there cringing. Well, we've got no other questions unless anyone wants to raise a hand. We've got like 25 minutes left. John, do you want to actually discuss and we can start putting some meat on the bones of it?
Do multi-DLL. Do it.
Well, we can just. What was your idea? Because it was months ago. Should be recorded, of course. But I'm just taking a note. What's the plan of attack on it? For how because you've already done a mod, but I had to make sure it was compatible with.
I did it, yeah.
Cool.
With what you're doing.
Yeah. Go on then.
And it's not like as full featured as it needs to be. It's pretty much allowing me to take the exe and just change the version of the codejock control.
Yep.
That ripples through everything.
So by one quick question on that then, if you use a calendar in, let's say you've got a 50 app solution and you use a calendar in 2 of them, which is fine because you might only have, right. That's probably quite realistic. So you've got the calendar in 2 of them. One of them isn't the main application frame. Would you still add it to the application frame?
Yes.
Yep.
Not the application frame, but the main app. The main.
Yeah, sorry, I meant the main exe app from an global extension point of view. That's fine.
Yes, you would probably add it to the base as well, I think.
Okay.
So I think you'd be required to add it to the base in the main app, and then it would take care of anything that you added in between.
Right. Okay.
And then you have the ones that you have in those 2 apps. You'd have to change it to say that I'm a multi-DLL, and that's it. And then a lot of the controls or a lot of the settings would disappear when you said you were multi-DLL because they'd all be set in the exe, set at one time, and ripple through. Now, I think you wanted to be able to make some local changes right, on a procedure level or a.
Well, the reason that comes about,
app level.
There's only one particular scenario which springs to mind, and it's the Chat Pro product. And if you're using version 15 of the Chat Pro product, then you can use 3D charts. But anything after version 15, they drop them. I think they had some major repaint and speed issues, so they dropped them. Well, dropped probably a strong word. They suspended them, and they promised to bring them back in a future release when they rework the code. So for me, it's not a problem.
Can
and I think
something for you there, Andy.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, I was actually just looking at the CodeJock site just this second, and there's a version 18 out which actually includes 3D chart styles.
You've got to be kidding me.
There you go.
There you go. It's back.
It's on the latest news down at the bottom of the screen on the. Which page am I on?
I think you should have.
Can we download 18 already?
Oh?
Not yet.
It's not on their release notes.
It's on What's New. I'm at codejock.com/corporate/what'snew.asp.
Corporate/what's new
ASP. There you go, June the 1st, 2017.
Yeah, new 3D chart styles.
But it's only for the toolkit.
I was going to say, is that not ActiveX though? Because yeah, that might be. If I go under here. Oh no, I just went under general release. But then again, it is only a beta. But right, well that's promising.
We download the beta.
It's usually part of your download. Yeah, you can in the passive lounge, because that's where, from a global extension point of view, you could enter a hotfix number or a patch number. So they have done it a couple of times. I think it was literally only a couple of times. Where's my batch files? Oh no, there's one there. They did a 15, so they did an 0908 build before they released official. Or was it a patch? No, that was a patch. 16.4 is the one I was thinking of, where they did a couple of hotfixes to them. So, right.
Sorry, I distracted you there.
No, because you got me thinking
about the 3D styles. Because I was just literally looking at the page while I was listening to you.
So, well, it's good to know where they're going with it. So, mind you, I say that's the MFC rather than the ActiveX. But yeah, I think that comes out first for the betas and so on. But the ActiveX really isn't too far behind. I think it's just a matter of when they've done the proving of it, then they just compile up with ActiveX and release.
Okay.
So that's good. But to go back to what we're saying is, and maybe we don't need a facility now, but historically it came about that I know Dave Bratovich uses the 3D charts rather than the 2D charts and so on. So
you can download 18.
He can wait for 18 and just have the one. But basically, yes, if we didn't need a local extension, which was my concern at the time, then you could just go for one global version and say, I am now using version 17.4. And I'd probably have it on a switch of, I'm using 17.4 of all the CodeJock suite. So you don't have to go specify an individual. You could just say one master version and take that for all the products.
Yeah, that'd be great. Really good. The other thing is the themes and the style, I don't have it in my modification yet, so adjust all of those. But that would be nice too, because then you'd be consistent across everything.
So I'm seeing this. I think my gut feeling is probably what I had at the time. I'd say it's a global extension template, which if it was a multi-DLL, you would add to the central dictionary DLL. And if it weren't that, if it's not multi-DLL, you just add it to the main application exe, which is your only app. But yeah, basically a support template with your master settings on of one overall version. So you could say version 17, yes, or, or one particular version, predefined, of course, on this, like you see there. Or if you didn't want to use it for all of them, you could untick and then specify for all the different products. And I'd just specify all the products underneath and let you just choose for each individual one, which is no great hardship. It gives you the flexibility. 9 times out of 10, everybody will just go with one version for all. So one version for all. In David's example, you change it from 16.4 to 17.3, and hey presto, everything will be done for you. So, but you would have the ability to fine tune. And for Dave's scenario, I wouldn't put it at a local level. We'd just have, if Dave wanted to still remain on the old 15 charting, then he could say all of them at 17.3 except for the charting, which is at 15. And that would give you the flexibility of what we're after. And then the same for the themes. And it wouldn't just be the themes, actually. I suppose you'd have the theme settings and the languages. That would work.
Yes, that would work.
Okay. So I'll make a quick note here. Global TPL. So it's a version all/specific. Same again, theme all/specific. And language. And last but not least, you would actually put your license details in there to save putting them in each of the actual separate DLLs.
Yes.
But that wouldn't be all or specific. That is just specific, because there is no such thing as an all.
You got to remember that the license codes are different for each version. For example, if you buy just your Calendar Pro, it's different than what the Suite Pro ones are. And so
no, my license, my all of my licenses.
Buy individually?
No, I bought the Suite. The Calendar I originally
bought them individually before, and they were different than what the Suite was.
Yes, yeah, you go with that, but you haven't got the same code for your Suite. Your report control code isn't the same as your calendar code, is it?
No,
I was going to say, so each of the products have their own code anyway, so we wouldn't be able to choose an all setting for that.
Yeah.
So, exactly. So yeah, basically, just to recap, global template, different tabs, imagine if you will, with one called version, master setting at the top saying all, where you can choose the version number, or specific, with all the products listed underneath with their versions. And of course, it's a bit of an overkill. If somebody's only ever got the calendar template and they go and plug this in, they'll see that they've got command bar settings and docking pane settings and so on. But that's fine. There'll be an option in there saying do not use. Same for the theme. Same for the language. License would just be specific because they are individual licenses for each product. And then we want on our master global, so let's go to this here, global calendar. These would become redundant and they would read them off the support template. In fact, these wouldn't be here anymore. We'd probably just take them off.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't. Technically you can, but if somebody didn't want to go and add the other thing, then I'd break everyone's programs, and I don't think people would thank me for that. So I'm going to have to introduce another setting here of use specific, which is the default thing. So there's still going to be, when you get this, there's still going to be a one pass through your app to set it to use the new settings, because there's no other way around it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
because you understand what I mean. The idea is you download the latest version, you install it, you recompile your app, and you're good to go. Well, if I do that just carte blanche, then I've just broken everybody's app, and my email server goes into overdrive.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'll take one more pass through all my apps. So it all set up.
Okay. Then what we'll start doing then, spare time on a weekly basis, starting next week before you start, we'll start on it. We'll start doing the changes.
Yes, that would be.
That should be out. That won't actually take that long. We'll prove the concept in one, and just repeat them. We'll prove the concept in one of the webinars, and then after the webinar, I'll just continue it and flush it through the rest of the products. So
I like it.
Yeah, and finally it'll be released. So yeah, okay.
Well, I installed version 18 and trying the Kojak chart builder.
Right.
It has none of the 3D stuff in it.
Oh, right.
Well, so we'll have to try it with your demo, Andy.
Does the class have it in? Just let me move that to a separate screen. I'll sign in and I'll download.
The class?
Not the class, sorry, the control.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying the chart builder demo, and the one that builds the demos, and it doesn't have the types of.
Oh, you're right. It is there. I'm going to download it myself. Let's take a quick look, shall we?
Yeah.
So if anyone's got any questions, by the way, by all means, jump in, and we don't want the webinar to be just tied up by this. But
by the way, Andy, I found part 4 of that webinar, and I posted it up.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much, John.
I think, John, it was actually part 2.
Part 4 was part 2. That was part 2.
Oh man!
Oh, David, it was yourself. David, it was yourself who was watching them.
No, it was Kevin Benson that did it. I just checked to see what version I actually had because I'd downloaded those ones, and I had the same as him. It was the one that's linked to as show number 180.
180. 180 is part 2. Yeah. Okay. I'll find that one.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Sure. Actually, it's already here. It's 180.
Okay. So
I actually downloaded it. It came down as 29 megabytes is the wrong size, John.
It's totally the wrong size. Yeah. Andy can talk fast, but not that fast.
One of the things I'm very paranoid about. Bruce gives me grief every time, so it is I do need to take note.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so any other questions? Got 10 minutes left. While I'm waiting for the questions, I am just actually downloading the new installer, which we shall take a look at now with a couple of minutes, if nobody minds. Just preparing it on another window. Oops, not there. Just in case there's license information, of course, that's all.
So you put specify version, you put 18.0?
No, because it'd be a build. So it'd be looks like it's a beta build of 0.6.0.117.
Come again?
I was just looking at their version, what they've released. Instead of 18.0.0, it's 18.0.0.6.0.117.
18.0.
Just
and
one
you
second.
put it on the hotfix, or you put it on the specify version?
Unless they've changed it, I'd have put it in the hotfix. But I've never seen it be quite that big. See, Roberto's already ahead of us there.
Yeah, I'm going. 18. I don't see. Oh, okay. 0.0 and then 06. I think it's a date, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a date.
Oh yeah. Ah, well, we better have a look.
And it doesn't fit. So I'll have to put it on the top one unless it doesn't fit either.
Oof, never tried that before. Could try.
I don't know. I'm going to try it. Going, compiling.
I found number 180, by the way. It's on the way up. And I'll update the link and should be available in about 10 minutes.
Brilliant. Oh, let's just take that off and start going the other thing.
What were the 3D ones? I can't remember. No.
Well, I'm not going to compile any examples. The main thing I wanted to just check here is just crack it open to see if they have.
Oh, it doesn't show anything. With the way I put it on.
Edit that out afterwards.
Yeah. So that wasn't it. It was not going to work with 18.0.0.060117. And the field with the hotfix doesn't fit.
Well, I did think that a minute ago, because I've never seen them that long, to be fair.
Right. Maybe we can tweak it. Go look for that in your code.
They do like to test me.
I guess so.
Okay. Well, this is installing. We'll have a quick peek inside to see the what's new, if they say anything on the what's new.
Oh, wait a minute. It does put it all on there. It just doesn't fit visibly. Huh. Okay. We'll try it. It doesn't show it on screen on the template window.
Okay. Yep.
But it does save it on the file. So once I looked at the code, but it doesn't work.
Okay, this is what's new. Now, of course, this is a toolkit rather than. Yeah, this is only the toolkit. But we can see at least the idea of what's coming.
Right. But it didn't work. 18.0.0.
So yes, looks like we have got 3D charts back again, which is nice.
Oh, wait a minute.
New Office 2016, and that looks like it's repeated throughout. Anybody aware of what the difference is between 2013 and 2016 from the theme point of view?
Maybe flatter? I don't know.
I'm going to say it's probably more flatter, more metro type. Okay, that's that. They've enhanced the chart rendering, which they would have had to have done for the 3D charts, because that's where they did have problems.
For some reason, I can't get it to go with the specified version. 18.0.0 won't work.
Are you using Retrecom?
No. I mean, just using. I'm not even doing the license code. I'm just letting it use the lick file.
It won't do. No, that's what I said earlier. The 17 onwards, you have to put the license code in.
Oh, okay. I'll do that then. I'm almost there. Then. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. Okay. Well,
number.
Maybe we can have a look at that next week. And
maybe the build number is 0601.17 instead of current version. I'm not sure.
I doubt that. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll have a quick look at that next week and see if we've got any examples going.
Okay.
Any others, or shall we call time on it?
I'm good.
Cool. Okie dokie. Well, without further ado, thank you all for attending, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.